Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next two house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
It's a great day. It is a great day to be a wrestling fan, a great day to watch us today because we've got King of the Ring today from 1993. How about that?
Looking forward to this. Hope you'll join us. Get your Peacock out and go to season 1, episode 1 of King of the Ring. That's King of the Ring and Peacock, season 1, episode 1. And we're going to get started at 56 minutes and 23 seconds. You'll see a crowd shot, and we're getting ready to see some Mr. Perfect Bret Hart action. This is a fun King of the Ring, and I don't think you ever saw this, did you?
No, let's see. In 1993, I was just back into WCW for a couple of years, and it was the pre-Nitro. WCW Saturday Night was our show, and I think this was just about the time, if I'm just trying to make parallels here, just about the time that either Kip Fry or Bill Watts was in charge of WCW this time. I think it may have been Watts. Not sure, but this is around the time because Hurd was gone and we all were celebrating. And then they bring in Kip, and it didn't last long, and then they brought in Watts. So no, I didn't see it. I didn't even know what was going on at that time.
I think Watts was gone by this point.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident about that because JR's here now.
Mm.
So if you'll recall,
Right.
JR left pretty soon after Watts did.
Right.
So JR was there by WrestleMania. So we're going to say that, that whole change of power, because I think after Watts, it went to like a 3-headed monster on the WCW side of things. You had Ole Anderson, Sharon Sadello, and Eric Bischoff, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So that happened we'll call it Q1 of 1993. And at the start of Q2, we're seeing Jim Ross in the WWF. So WrestleMania in April, and now here at King of the Ring. This is a fun show just to catch everybody up. Again, this is season 1, episode 1 of King of the Ring. The first time we've seen King of the Ring on a pay-per-view. They had done prior King of the Rings as like house show attractions. But we're going to crown the very first, at least on pay-per-view, King of the Ring. Match number 1 was Bret Hart pinning Razor Ramon in a 3-star match that went 10 minutes and 27 seconds. Then we saw Mr. Perfect beat Mr. Hughes, who was here for a cup of coffee.
Wow.
6 minutes and 2 seconds. They got a 1.25 stars. They had Mr. Fuji doing a promo backstage talking about the title match between Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan still to come. We saw Bam Bam Bigelow beat Jim Duggan in just under 5 minutes. That got a 1/4 star. And believe it or not, they let Tatanka and Lex Luger go to a legitimate 15-minute draw. That eliminated both men, and it got 2.25 stars. Can you believe they let Tatanka and Lex go 15?
No, I can't. I think the Tatanka Lex one is right after we hook in.
That's right. So that catches you up as to what's happened so far.
Right.
We hope you'll join us. It's easy to do. Season 1, episode 1 of King of the Ring 1993. We want you to go to 56 minutes and 23 seconds. This is 245,000 buys on pay-per-view. That actually beats King of the Ring 94, 95, 96, 97. So it does really, really well for WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, by 98, the company looks a whole lot different in the Stone Cold Steve Austin era, and that record's going to be broken. But 245,000 buys, and believe it or not, this is going to be one of, if not the very last televised appearance by Hulk Hogan in the WWF for many years. But this is certainly his last pay-per-view, and we hope you'll join us. It's fun to do. It's easy to do. It's season 1, episode 1. Tony, I'm locked and loaded on my side. Are you ready on your side?
Here we go with the countdown in 3, 2, 1, play.
And here we go. We're off to the races. We got Mean Gene standing in the back. To his right, our left, is Bret the Hitman Hart. And on the other side, Mr. Perfect. Of course, these guys stole the show at SummerSlam 1991. Here we are a couple of years later. At this point, we've seen Mr. Perfect retire, come out of retirement, and Bret Hart is still working his way through the ranks of the World Wrestling Federation because he's been the world champion, but he's on the comeback trail here. Tony, he lost the world title to Yokozuna at WrestleMania, and then Yoko immediately lost it to Hulk Hogan. So Bret, in theory, should be the top babyface here, but damn it, that Hulk Hogan's back. So we're going to have Bret run through the King of the Ring here. And in any era, Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart, is that about as good as it gets, really?
Oh, that's great. What tremendous, again, second generation athletes.
Yes.
In pro wrestling. So they grew up in the business. And, just growing up in the business doesn't mean you're going to be any good at it. But they were, and they were both great. And boy, we lost Mr. Perfect way, way too soon. This doesn't have to do with anything, but how about the difference in hairstyles? I always thought any wrestler, male or female, that has hair down in their eyes has to have a little trouble wrestling. And Bret always had that stringy long hair down his face, and Perfect always had it pulled back and then tied in the back at some time. So anyway, I noticed this. So, well, of course, Gene doesn't have any problems with that either way, as you can tell.
I got to tell you, with the benefit of hindsight, how cool were both of these guys' gear? Like Mr. Perfect, I feel like, was known for wearing a singlet like that. Not a lot of guys in wrestling in that era were, but just the simple color change on the back with the triangle. I don't know, less is more. It was really cool for me. I like the plain white boots with the black letters, Mr. P. And then, talk about innovation. Not a lot of guys in wrestling were lining up to wear pink. Much like Taz after him, sort of Taz took ownership of orange. It feels like here in the 80s and 90s, Bret Hart was taking ownership of pink, right?
And that was pretty smart because no one else would. And I think Bret knew that, hey, if I wear pink, no one else is going to wear it. And, those are things that, your outfit and your color scheme, and Taz was smart about this. And he was obviously Mr. Perfect was smart about this. These are just small things that add up to important stuff, I think. So here we go, man.
I love this look too, where there's just a series of TVs with their logo, and then they've got the lit WWF logo. It really is less is more. You see the stage set up where you guys used to do those stand-up interviews with Mean Gene.
Yeah.
Here we see the robe and the crown, the scepter and the throne. I mean, listen, on the one hand, it's a little cheesy. On the other hand, hey, they created a pay-per-view concept out of thin air, and it's the old tournament concept. And I've really heard people talk about this one of two ways. I've heard some people who say they really like tournaments. Eric Bischoff comes to mind. And I've heard other guys like Jeff Jarrett say he doesn't think tournaments work in wrestling. Of course, in this era, we should remind everybody later the same year, the UFC would debut, and they would be doing like a one-night tournament. What did you think of the tournament format or concept, rather, in pro wrestling?
There have been good ones and bad ones. it depends on how they're positioned, depends on who you have in the tournament. I go back to when it was right maybe a couple of years before this, or at least a year before this, when Kip Fry developed the tournament for the United States Tag Team Championship. And we had JR and I on either side of this big bracket poster, and we were talking about it, and Kip was on the dais, and I remember after it's all done, he said, "So what do you think?" And I went, "Well, it is just for the US belt. You know, it's not for the world tag team belt." And he said, "Why didn't you tell me that to start out with?" I said, "You're the boss, buddy. You didn't ask me." But it depends on what you're going for, and to me, and also depends on who you have in it. So it can work. You know, I think it's a lot better than Battle Bowl, which to me is the worst concept ever. But hey, any tournament that's going to give me Mr. Perfect against Bret Hart, I'm for.
No doubt.
Yeah.
We're watching a pretty fantastic match here. We hope you're watching with us. One of the things we were just talking about gear too. I love this Bret Hart gear. This might be some of my favorite Bret gear. But how cool were Bret's boots? Those are pretty damn distinctive, were they not?
You know what? First time I've noticed them. Yeah, it is pretty cool, right? The star and the pink on the top and down the side, and
So you got a star and you got some pink trim, and then you've got like a polished black heel and a polished black toe. I don't
yeah,
know. It's kind of a cool look. It's very unique to him.
maybe they're on the market. Maybe you or Jeff Jones should buy them.
Oh no, there is a pair out there. They sold for a ridiculous amount, best I understand.
Did they really?
I tried to get into boot collecting, and I did for a bit, but ultimately, I don't think that was for me.
Yeah. You know, I was telling Dave Silva before we started. He asked me if I've any television shows I've watched as of late. And the answer is no. I did watch the first part of the Pee Wee documentary.
Oh, that's pretty
On
good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I started into the second and haven't finished it, but I'm really back deep diving into baseball collecting now, baseball card collecting now. So uh, I can imagine how much some of these trinkets, or belts or boots or tights or whatever, uh, sold for. But I did find out, I ran into this guy who had some old um, wrestling posters.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about posters about, with the card rundown.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me one, and it was like from like the early 60s. And he said, "I got a whole box of them." And I went, "I could make you some money, dude." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Sometimes wrestling fans eat this stuff up. So you never know what you're going to find." But anyway,
Amen to that.
I've been into baseball card collecting once again. It's taken up a lot of my time. I guess life is good if you just do wrestling and collect baseball cards, right?
Hey man, there are worse things.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
By the way, later tonight, we hope you guys will be sure to check out AEW Dynamite. Pretty special Dynamite that folks are going to be able to check out tonight, right, Tony?
Well, it's going to be a special one. It is going to be uh, Grand Slam Mexico, and it's going to be a dynamite. It's going to last 2.5 hours, and it's going to be from 8 to 9:30. And I've mentioned this many times. It's one of those bucket list places for wrestling fans to go to because of the atmosphere, and you get big time hardcore lucha libre fans, but you also get a lot of tourists who know that when you go to Mexico City, this is one of the places you have to stop to see lucha libre and the colors and the masked men and everything. So every wrestler that I've talked to says it's been one of the greatest experiences they've ever had going there and performing. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Should be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to see it. I love seeing modern wrestling in different venues, and the idea that we're seeing an American based promotion do their weekly live television show from Arena Mexico. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I realize that's not the same thing, and it's not even close to the same thing. But just hear me out.
Okay.
Imagine if you did a live TBS special way back when in the Crockett era from
Right.
Arena, Mexico.
Yeah.
Like you could have seen the Rock and Roll Express and Magnum TA and Ric Flair and the Horsemen and
Mm-hmm.
the Road Warriors in Arena, Mexico. Man, that would have been really cool. And I think, if you listen to this podcast, you're a big fan of nostalgia. This may not be nostalgic for you, but one day it will be for your kids. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's a very good point. And to be honest with you, I did not follow Mexican wrestling like Mike Tenay did back in the day. Mike knew all the guys, being from California, and following. And so I've kind of been following it a little bit. And I knew about Atlantis. We had him on our show this past week, and it was really cool to see him out there. And of course, Mystico was here, and he's a legend. And Carlos Cabrera standing up in the ring and introducing Atlantis was, I thought, just really fucking cool for us to do on this past Dynamite from Portland. And so I think it's a really good lead into what we're going to have coming up on Wednesday.
Be sure to check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun as you're listening to this. Later tonight, AEW Dynamite live from Arena, Mexico. And I think Collision is going to be live this weekend too, right, Tony?
It's going to be live in Kent, Washington, right outside of Seattle. And then we're back in the same building the following Wednesday for a live Dynamite. Which, by the way, reminds me, and I'm going to tell you guys out front, we're probably going to need to do a best of next week because I'm going to be in Seattle between Saturday and Wednesday. I'm going to do some media for our company and try to, help ticket sales in Kent, Washington after we do our first show there. A lot of times the second show is tougher, after you have two shows in the same arena. So
when are you flying out to Washington?
Flying out to Washington I'm flying out Saturday morning in Washington, and then I'm flying back Thursday, following Thursday.
You want to try to put one in the can Friday before you get out of here?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Let me think for a second. Do I have anything? No, Friday's good. Let's put one in the can.
Roll Tide.
We'll put it in the can.
I love that you do that because you're one of the hardest working guys out there. And that's why I know you love Brunt. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability, meaning if they felt good, well, they didn't last. And if they lasted, well, they would wreck your feet. Well, Brunt Workwear finally ended that trade-off, designing boots that withstand the toughest job sites while still feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. The founder is a fellow named Eric, and he grew up blue collar, and he started Brunt after his friends in the trades encouraged him to start a workwear brand that was really built for them. And that's why all the Brunt products are named after the guys he grew up with. Brunt might actually have the most comfortable work boots on the planet, but they also deliver real performance on the job. Whether you need waterproof or safety toe or soft toe or pull on or lace up, they've got you covered. They're so confident these boots will blow you away that they even let you try it on the job risk-free. For a limited time, our listeners can get $10 off Brunt with the code WHW at checkout. Just head on over to bruntworkwear.com and use the code WHW and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor when they ask you how you heard about Brunt. Tell them it was from this show. And I want to mention, too, that these Brunt boots come comfortable right out of the box. Some of those other boots require like a break-in period, not here. And Brunt doesn't have boots. They've got everything you need. All your high-performance gear for the tough jobs, like heavy-duty work pants and weather-resistant jackets. Go check out Brunt. They didn't just make a durable work boot. They reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. And for a limited time, our listeners can get $10 off at Brunt. Just use our code WHW at checkout. Head on over to bruntworkwear.com and use the code WHW, and bam, you're all set. After you purchase, they're going to ask you how you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. How about Mr. Perfect off the top rope? He makes the pin to Bret, but Bret gets his foot on the ropes. Man, I feel like in an alternate universe, these guys flip-flop the world title back and forth. I would have really totally bought these guys in a world title feud in the WWF, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would have been a good one because it would. I like what happened right before right after that drop kick, that Mr. Perfect tried to pin him. He kicked out and he tried to pin him immediately a second time. You don't see that much.
I agree.
And that just shows, to me, it kind of shows the urgency of wanting to win a match like this in a tournament. So, and Bret fools him. Hey, not to take away from this match, but I know we do, our talks do kind of wander around. How about the Kenny Omega Okada thing this
Man,
past Wednesday?
I can't wait to ask you about that. But I do want to ask you here about this match because we're nearing the end here.
Okay.
And Meltzer had a commentary about commentary. And I want to
Oh,
get
okay. All
I
right.
want to hear from you because you're uniquely qualified, as you know.
Yeah.
Meltzer wrote, the two went back and forth with big moves for near falls and worked very believable submissions.
Uh-huh.
Although the submissions were somehow ruined by Savage continually trying to get over that neither man would ever submit, which ruins the dramatic value of any submission move in a match involving either.
Mhm.
So let's talk about that for a minute as we see Bret Hart slapping on the figure four and Kurt Hennig
Yeah.
going crazy.
Mhm.
You know, listen, I get that Savage is trying to put them over, their courage and that they're stand-up guys and all
Right.
that.
Right.
But it is a slippery slope because if you start saying, oh, they'll never submit, it does sort of defeat the purpose of the move, doesn't it?
I don't know. If you're the Macho Man Randy Savage, you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt because he's not a quote unquote. If JR would say it, it would be different, I
Right.
think. But yeah, Macho Man's a character. And so you kind of take that. I it doesn't bother me as much. And my response to that would be Dave Meltzer is always welcome to put on a headset and try it out himself. That's my feeling about that.
So we're seeing a really strong finish. We hope you guys are watching with us. This is a classic here. It gets 4.25 stars in the Observer. Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect go 18 minutes and 55 seconds.
Good.
It's described as being an excellent match. Bret winds up winning after reversing an inside cradle, and both shook hands afterwards to make sure the fans knew that Perfect really hadn't turned. And where we're going in just a minute is Hulk Hogan in the backstage area doing an interview. We're going to talk about that, but you teased it. It's a needle mover. 2 weeks ago, it was made official. Last week, we saw the contract signing. Kenny Omega and Okada are hooking it up for the first time ever in American soil at AEW's first stadium show here in America, Saturday, July 12th. It's a matinee opportunity. Tickets are on sale now at awtix.com. It's a hell of a main event, man. I mean, I don't even think it has to go on last. It may not, but I can't imagine having to follow what they're going to put out there. But along the way, last week we had something that was almost reminiscent of Invader #3 down in Puerto Rico years ago. Just gobs of blood coming out of Kenny Omega. I guess he had some internal bleeding. We all know that he's had his battles with his intestines and so forth. And man, it was a really scary situation. Put him on the shelf for over a year. So the idea that, that's now at the centerpiece of arguably a rematch of the greatest wrestling match of all time. There's a lot of stakes in this match now, aren't there, Tony?
There's a lot of stakes, and an angle I think was just really, really well done. It was, I knew I was going to be the moderator for it, so I was pumped about that. And then after it all went down, I'm thinking, man, that was great TV, and I was so excited about being a part of it. Is Don Callis not one of the most hateable guys ever?
He is unbelievably good at his job.
My God. Oh my God.
Hey, what'd you think of the new title? Of course, we're going to be combining
Right.
2 titles. Tell everybody which 2 titles are being combined and what the name of the new title is and what you thought about seeing it up close and personal.
The 2 titles are the Continental Championship and the International Championship to be combined for the Unified Championship, the AEW Unified Championship. The belt was pretty spectacular, and I had seen it earlier in the day. And again, for me to be able to unveil it, oh, it's pretty freaking cool. So it's a very cool belt, and I think it's I think either man will be able to do a good job as the champion. I'm interested to see what they come up with for the end of that match. And I'm sure that when we all sit down at the broadcast position at All In, we won't know, which is good, which is fine. I like it like that. You know, just tell me some story points you want going into it, things to look out for, spots to watch out for. But uh, no, I don't want to know the finish, and it should be great. It really should. It's gonna be a great pay per view. You know.
It really is, man. What
Yeah.
a loaded card. We know we're going to see John Moxley and Hangman Adam Page for the AEW title. We know we got Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm for the women's title. And now it's official. Okada, Omega unifying the championship. Lots of other fun stuff to be announced. But, man, that one, that's special. Given the wars and the mark they left on the wrestling world with their trilogy of matches for New Japan,
Yep.
this has been a long time coming, man. I'm fired up for this.
Yeah. Very cool package too on the show about that trilogy. So good times, really is. We're doing some, you know, and of course I wouldn't sit up here and say ever criticize what we're doing because I work for
Yeah,
the company. It would be
that's right.
stupid. But we are doing some very good things right now, and I'm very happy because we have done some things in the past that have not worked. I think we're doing a lot of things now that are working.
I really have enjoyed. It feels like there has been a string of really good stuff
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, I feel so
Uh,
too.
and listen, if you enjoy the international flair, I don't know that there's ever been a more internationally friendly promotion than AEW. I mean,
Oh,
you
I
take
agree. Yeah,
at WCW and the NWA before that, specifically Jim Crockett Promotions, and the WWF, TNA.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody has embraced international talent the way AEW has,
Right.
and I think it's a more interesting program because of that.
Yeah, whoever thought Okada would wrestle for anyone except New Japan, right? I mean, to get him,
Yeah,
geez, a big deal. And of course, you know, we have a Shii coming in a lot. We got Takeshita, who was obviously very, very big in, I believe it was DDT. And we've got some girls from Stardom who have come in. Uh, uh, the Toxic Spider Tekla has been the latest. Mariah May was here. Of course, she came in from Stardom. So we've done Mariah May, as I mentioned, and everybody's favorite, Mina Shirakawa. Uh, so yeah, Tony's done a good job of bringing in some talent, and of course, we've had a lot of luchadors. Gosh, as of late, I'm not crying. I don't know what's going on, but my eyes are bothering me. Sorry. I'm so excited.
Hey, Tony, it appears that Conrad has left the building.
Conrad left.
And he's back.
He's back. Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
man,
Hey.
what a crash and burn here to the floor here,
Yeah. Just
Mr. Perfect.
kind
And
of like anybody who's got a Windows computer.
no, what happened is, stupid ass over here was saying that that the clock was there for him, but it wasn't there for me. So I went to change the time on my computer because I mentioned before we were live here
Mm-hmm.
that my time was wrong. So I clicked to change the time automatically, and when I did, it logged me out of StreamYard. So my
Wow.
apologies.
Well, I'm glad you're back because I didn't want to do the rest of this well, it would have been me and Dave, I guess.
Oh well, shit! If y'all got it, I mean,
No, we ain't got it. Last week, we had to do a best of quickly because my internet was out, and it was out from we had a thunderstorm on Friday, and it was out from Friday to Wednesday.
oh my god!
And then it got.
How did you go 5 days without Lois being able to fuck around on Facebook?
I have no. Well, you know, we've got. She can use the Verizon app. You know what? She can use the. She doesn't have to be on the internet to use that with her phone. Uh, but and we found out there was a cut in the cord up in the attic or something. So they had guys come. They had guys come out here, and finally, when I'm in Portland, Lois sends me a text says the internet's fixed. I said, great. But it was a rough time. It's tough, man. And I kept calling. I said, man, I've got business freaking internet. Okay. I texted a guy. I said, like, here's the deal. It's not a bunch of teenagers going on social media at my house. I use it for fucking work. But I didn't say fucking. But I wanted to.
You don't say fucking.
Well, I don't say it to, people. There was the handshake, by the way. I don't say it to, because people who answer the phone and it's not their fault,
So here we go. We're about to see Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart being interviewed backstage by Mean Gene Okerlund. As we take a look there, we know now that the finals are set for the King of the Ring tournament. It's going to be Bret Hart and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Wow. How about that?
You're about to see one of the last promos from Hulk Hogan in the WWF, though. It's said here by Dave Meltzer, Hogan did one of his usual promos about how he's got the power of the Hulkamaniacs.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan reminded us he's a 5-time WWF champion, and he says he's going to be the guy to put the big man Yokozuna down. And then, believe it or not, it's Yoko and Hulk Hogan for the WWF title. They're going to be out 6th, and they go 13 minutes and 11 seconds. Meltzer's going to say Hogan's reaction coming out greatly eclipsed any other response on the show. He's still to the masses, the star of the show. How much of a drawing card he still is will be determined now at the house show matches with Yokozuna, because he's in a viable program chasing the title. And if these matches don't draw considerably bigger crowds than usual, then live WWF wrestling simply has a certain sized audience that no individual in the U.S. is on his own a draw anymore. Hogan gave him the entire match, teasing his inability to either slam him or knock him off his feet. This was pretty much the typical Jerry Lawler versus a monster first match of a series from the old days, in which Lawler can't do anything with the guy and then pulls down the strap, makes his comeback, but gets screwed and loses. At one point, they did a bear hug for 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Those damn bear hugs, man.
After kicking out of the belly to belly, Hogan did the Superman comeback and finally knocked him off his feet after 3 boots to the face. Yokozuna kicked out of the leg drop, supposedly being the first person ever to do so. Of course, we remember Sid Vicious did the same thing at the 92 WrestleMania. And Hogan punched Mr. Fuji, and then a mystery photographer, who was obvious from the start of the match because of his fake wig and beard, jumped on the apron and flashes fire in Hogan's eyes. And Yokozuna gets the pin with the leg drop. After the match, Yoko gave Hogan the bonsai, and he had to be helped out. 1.5 stars. So, yeah, you're seeing really, for lack of a better word here, Tony, the end of Hulkamania. When you were in WCW at the time in 1993, was that even something you could fathom?
No.
The idea that Hulk Hogan wouldn't be the top star in the WWF.
No, I could not fathom that. Neither could I fathom Hulk Hogan ending up in WCW. Right. Both of those were like, because the one year I was there, we were right in the midst of Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, WrestleMania 6.
That's the Warrior one.
That's the Warrior one. Did Warrior kick out of the leg drop, or did he miss the leg drop and Warrior got up?
Remember I was thinking that because I was wondering if he did that too.
Yeah. Because I know there was a leg drop.
Yes.
And he went off the ropes, did his thing with a leg drop. I don't know if he missed the leg drop and Warrior got up. And I just can't remember how it happened, but
I did think he missed the leg drop, but I think the most recent one was probably Sid.
Okay.
Hey, so let me just mention here that Yokozuna is going to be the world champion, of course, we know here shortly. But what's interesting is the only match he had prior to this. Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah. So he came back in 93, and they were the Mega Maniacs. So it's Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. They showed up to do a challenge taping in Augusta, Georgia, and they beat the Beverly Brothers. And they did a house show in Lakeland, Florida. That was kind of a tune-up, if you will, because a couple of weeks later is when they did the Vegas WrestleMania. So we saw Money Inc. beat the Megamaniacs in the title match for the tags. Then we saw Hulk Hogan in 21 seconds take the belt off of Yokozuna. But believe it or not, on May 3rd, we'd see Hulk Hogan wrestle the Great Muta over in Japan for New Japan.
Okay.
He's going to come back and do a handful of house shows in Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Winnipeg, Minneapolis, Albany, Richmond, and Indianapolis. Those are all house shows. So the only time we've seen Hulk Hogan at a live wrestling match, if you will, in this year was WrestleMania. We saw him wrestle twice, and now we're seeing him here. This is, of course, the pay-per-view in Dayton, Ohio. He's going to have a series of matches after this, but not a lot. It's usually in the European tour, but he did actually work immediately after this, the very next day, in Columbus, Ohio, against Money Inc. Sergeant Slaughter was the special guest referee. I imagine that was the dark match. He did it the very next day in Huntington, West Virginia, same match. The Rosemont Horizon, 10 days after that. Boston Garden the following day. And then he did a European tour in the month of, at the end of July and very early August. But he finishes up in Sheffield in South Yorkshire, England on August 6th, 1993. And that's it for Hulk Hogan in the WWF until 2002, which really is just crazy to think, like the idea that he would go on and have that 9-year span be filled with New Japan, Thunder in Paradise, WCW, and then, of course, the NWO story.
Mm-hmm. Everything comes to an end.
Yes.
Everybody's run in pro wrestling is going to come to an end. Mine, but everything comes to an end. So I wonder what it was that made Vince decide that's enough for Hulkamania. I wonder if it's the numbers, the ratings, the buy rate, just watching the match and say he's not what he used to be. I just wonder what it was to end Hulkamania, because we knew it would end sometimes. But to me, you're talking about 4 years after I witnessed the excitement and the things that were going on in 1989. So it's not like it's 10 years later or anything like that, right? So,
no, it's crazy how quickly it turned. I mean, you and
Right.
I talked about this before, that, you look at how hot the Midnight Express, or I'm sorry, the Rock and Roll Express were
Mhm.
in 86 and 87, but by 89, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not nearly the same.
Yeah.
And I think the same is true of Hogan. He was obviously over like crazy in 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90 is
Right.
when they tried the Warrior experiment.
Right.
91 is when they do the pretty regrettable Gulf War stuff. 92 is when they tease that this may be his last match and there's maybe some steroid trouble looming. And now here we are in 93. I think it was probably time to move on for Hulk Hogan for a variety of reasons. Number one, I've been under the impression for a long time that Hulk and Vince have often had a love-hate relationship, that they both thought that they deserved more credit than the other one.
Mm.
I'm sure it had to bother Vince McMahon that, he's sort of the brains behind this thing, but to the rest of the world, they're all in love with Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan gets the credit for the WWF. And I'm sure that, Hulk felt like, hey, I'm the top guy. You wouldn't be in this spot without me. And I'm sure Vince thought, well, I can just make another you. And I imagine they had financial problems as a result of that. I imagine that some of the cracks start to show when No Holds Barred is a box office flop.
Yeah.
And when Hogan feels slighted, maybe that they're going to try to go with the Warrior as the top guy, and then it doesn't work. And, they have the whole regrettable Gulf War thing. And then when the steroid stuff comes up,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably going to be like, all right,
Right.
not drawing like he used to. He's
Mhm.
never happy about money. There's a potential legal issue here. It might be time to cut bait and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about all those, and you can even tell how Hogan looks here. It's not the Hulk Hogan from
He's
1989
deflated
at all.
for sure.
Yeah, he has. He is absolutely deflated. So I get all that. You know what I noticed as they were taking the wide shot and you saw the back of the building? I saw an Ico Pro sign. Do you remember
Oh
Ico Pro?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was at Vince's bodybuilding supplements or something like that.
Not long for this world.
No, I remember Ico Pro. That harkened back.
It was like PED, and these days nobody's using ICO Pro, but everybody's using our favorite PED, Blue Chew.
Mm,
Listen, if you haven't already, I encourage you to try Blue Chew Max. It's here now, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable. It's a combo that acts fast and it lasts. And now you can be ready whenever she needs it. You can even get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is just a few clicks away. You sign up at bluechew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. They're prepared and shipped directly to your door. And the best part is it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. So make your life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free and use our promo code WHW. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's promo code WHW. Visit bluechew.com for more details on important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast.
boy, a slow start to this match, right? A lot of walking around and
Man, this is what Hulk Hogan was all about in this era. And it is interesting to think that this is the last time we see him on TV for like 9 years here in the WWF.
mm, it is.
I mean, this is really the end of an era. I mean, think about, people thought and teased, oh, well, Andre's going to end Hulkamania. Okay, well, Ted DiBiase is going to buy his way into end Hulkamania. Okay, well, Randy Savage will end Hulkamania. And,
Mhm.
oh, well, he can't possibly overcome the Ultimate Warrior or Sergeant Slaughter or, God damn it, Earthquake. And, oh, take a look. And you believe that this shit's real? We've actually got we've got Sid Vicious and Papa Shango here. Nope. It's going to be Yokozuna that finishes him off. It is interesting, too, because you take a look at the success that the Samoan dynasty has enjoyed in the WWF in recent years, certainly.
Right.
The Rock and now what Roman Reigns has been able to do, and more recently, Jey Uso.
Right.
And here's Yokozuna, man, being the guy who ends Hulkamania. I guess in the lore of WWE, if you're going to have somebody beat Hulk Hogan, let it be a Samoan.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just happened to arrive at the right time. Hey, I was hoping that my good friend, who I really respect and like a lot, Scotty Garland or Scotty Too Hottie or
Yes.
the Worm, was in the WWE at this time. But I did read that he was, but he really wasn't a star until years later.
Yeah, he really became a star in the Attitude Era.
Right.
To this day, he is one of Cassio Kid's absolute favorite acts.
Yeah.
He loved Too Cool,
Mm-hmm.
which was Jerry Lawler's son,
Right.
as you called him, the Worm,
Mm-hmm.
and Rikishi.
Rikishi, right. Yeah, Scotty's one of our coaches now. A good guy,
Great.
just a great kid. And we're going to have to watch some Attitude Era stuff with him in it. I want to see it. He, we used him like one time for like a dark match,
Mm-hmm.
and people went crazy when he walked out. They really popped big time.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, man, let's do it again. I know he's in his 50s, but go out there and bump, buddy.
Get your ass out there.
That's like,
Hey, as a reminder, the prior month, so a couple of weeks prior to this, they did Slamboree 93, a Legends reunion
oh, brother.
at the Omni in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You had matches like Davey Boy and Big Van Vader on top, Barry Windham wrestling Arn Anderson for the big gold belt, Dos Hombres, which is Tom Zink and Ricky Steamboat wrestling the Hollywood Blondes in a steel cage, Sting versus the Prisoner, that's the former Nails, Rick Rude teaming with Paul Orndorff to take on Dustin Rhodes and Kensuke Sasaki. Dory Funk Jr. versus Nick Bockwinkel went 15 minutes on a fucking pay-per-view.
Woo!
Patterson and Brad Armstrong wrestle Ivan Koloff and Baron Von Raschke. Dick Murdoch teamed up with Don Morocco and Jimmy Snuka to take on Wahoo McDaniel, Blackjack Mulligan, and Jim Brunzell. Sid Vicious wrestled Van Hammer for 35 fucking seconds. And Too Cold Scorpio was in there with Marcus Bagwell to take on Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit. Now, the next month after this June pay-per-view we're seeing from the WWF, WCW would present a July show in Biloxi, Mississippi called Beach Blast. That's where we would see Ric Flair win the world title for what may have been the 10th time, I think, against Barry Windham.
Okay.
Maybe that was the 8th time. I'm not sure. Sting and Davey Boy would be in a tag team main event against Vader and Sid. Rick Rude and Dustin Rhodes had an Iron Man match for the U.S. heavyweight title. Paul Roma and Arn Anderson would challenge the Hollywood Blondes for the tag titles. Lord Steven Regal would wrestle Eric Watts, Johnny B. Bad against Max Payne. Too Cold and Bagwell against Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce. And Paul Orndorff versus Ron Simmons. So that's what's going on here in both companies. And we'll call it the summer of 93. Which of those lineups do you think is more compelling? What we're seeing on the WWF side of things or what we're seeing on the WCW side of things?
I think on the WWF side.
See, I would go the opposite way. I'm
Really?
running this card again.
Okay.
Start with Bret Hart and Razor Ramon. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Perfect and Mr. Hughes. Not bad. Bam Bam and Jim Duggan. Tatanka and Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Perfect and Bret. Woo. Pretty good.
Right.
Yoko and Hogan. Big star power. The Steiners and the Smoking Guns against the Head Shrinkers and Money Inc. That's two tag teams against two tag teams.
Right.
Shawn Michaels in there with Crush. And then Bret Hart wrestling Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event. I'm going to give the edge to the July pay-per-view from WCW, I think.
Okay. Well, I was thinking more, I guess, of star power.
Oh, there's no doubt there's a lot of stars here in the WWF, but
right.
I mean, really and truly, it's Hulk Hogan and others.
Right. Right.
I mean, in 93, he didn't really have an equal. What Jordan was to basketball in 93, I think.
Yeah, Hogan was to pro wrestling, the biggest star.
2 minute and 15 second bear hug coming up here, Tony.
You know, they do hurt, Conrad.
Well, now feels like a good time for us to.
No, wait a minute. I want to take a look at what happens to this bear hug. Okay, the big arms of Yokozuna are around Hulk Hogan, right? Now he's pushing on the spine with both hands. The fists are on the spine. So what is trying to do? He's trying to cut off, the feeling to both legs. And when you cut off the feeling to both legs to a big guy, that means the big guy cannot stand. Okay. So not only is he pulling on the back, he's pulling up on the back. So them bear hugs, them are damn good holds.
Hey, I was thinking of an indie gimmick. Can I give you an indie gimmick idea?
Sure.
What if there was a wrestler named Dick Jacker?
Oh, okay. And what would his finish be?
Oh, a pump handle slam? I don't know. Choke slam?
Reverse gut buster, something like that.
Oh, you know what's funny?
There you go.
It's funny you say that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with, I forget who I was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And I'll get it in a minute. But I pitched Megan. We were sitting on the back porch here. And I started laughing. And she said, "What's so funny?" And I said, "Well, I guess I was just thinking, whoever is going to try to date that guy's daughter, he's going to be making," I remember.
Okay.
We're talking about The Rock.
Okay.
And I said, "Man, you know what sucks is there's some guy who's trying to close the deal with The Rock's daughter. And he's trying to just, tell his friends, 'Oh, I laid the smack down.'
Mm-hmm.
Turn that sumbitch sideways. Know your role. So there's all these silly rock catchphrases that you could use in that regard. And then as I'm thinking through that, I'm like, hey, I can't say that on the program because I married a wrestler's daughter and that would be easy. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. How would I even use that?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, the only thing I could think of is like if I was to ask for like a figure foursome or something like that. And so then we start just laughing and thinking about all the different ones. And it was like, man, can you imagine if Arn had a daughter? And you're like, oh, I had to hit her with the old gourd buster. The dust off the spineless.
Yeah.
So what would be a fun, like if you were to date a wrestler's daughter and you're going to turn it into smack talk and you're going to reference dad's finish or some iconic phrase or whatever. He just feels like that lends itself
Sure
to
does.
like comedy opportunities.
Sure. You would say to her, bring in your sister and I'll do a standing switch.
Oh,
how about that?
Look at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I see and think of a standing switch, I think, okay. Hulk is
Well,
hulking up
I have
here.
I have it on good authority. A lot of standing switches happened in Memphis.
I bet.
A lot of standing switches happened at a Holiday Inn in Philadelphia.
I bet. Hey, I was thinking about some of the WCW events that you were talking about during this time. You're talking about Slamboree Legends reunion at the Omni. My favorite part, and I don't always remember everything because we have so many matches, but I do remember Missy Hyde was interviewing the Legends, and Butcher Vachon was there, and he was talking, and she said, "Okay, now let's go to," and he grabbed the microphone and said, "I am not yet done talking yet." And she it absolutely scared the shit out of her, which to me was one of the great moments of Slamboree.
So here comes the big finish right here, Tony. I don't know if you've seen this before, but
I haven't.
Yoko goes down, and I want you to look. See, to Jimmy Hart's right, there's a ringside photographer.
Right. Yeah, I saw him when he walked in. He's got a different kind of hat on.
All right, so now we see Hogan working over Mr. Fuji. He punches him off the apron. And he's signaling to the crowd. He's going to do so. There's a different photographer across the ring. See him far side over there?
Yeah, I saw him.
Jimmy Hart's trying to pull him down. Hogan sees that Jimmy Hart got pushed away. There goes the fire. Yoko throat thrust off the ropes. The real leg drop. And that's all she wrote, buddy.
People can't believe it.
No.
They absolutely can't believe it. The kids are like, "Oh no!"
Because I think everybody assumed. I mean, even what Dave wrote in the Observer is, there's going to be all these return matches now on the house shows. That's it, man. I mean, there are return matches on house shows, but they're international, and this is not the beginning of some big feud. Hulk Hogan got beat by Yokozuna.
Who was the guy with the camera? Was just some obscure guy? Wasn't a wrestler or anybody that was involved in the angle?
Downtown Bruno.
Downtown Bruno.
Harvey Whippleman.
Wow.
We've actually got a photo that Silva can show us here of just recently emerged in more recent times of Harvey Whippleman. How about that?
King of the Ring. How about that?
Would you have guessed that's Harvey Whippleman?
No, not at all. Ah, a little heat afterwards.
Yeah, dude. Why not? Just squish his ass.
Oh, gonna squish Hogan's ass.
So let me just give everybody the heads up. At WrestleMania, we saw Hulk Hogan beat Yokozuna in a whopping 21 seconds. That was May 4th. So 2 months and 9 days later, we saw Yoko beat Hulk Hogan in 13 minutes and 8 seconds. They're going to do 8 more matches, all internationally. Hogan wins all 8, but all are by DQ. So Hogan is technically 9-1 against Yoko, but if we're counting pinfalls, It's one apiece. And I have it on good authority that Yoko is not looking for any rematches these days, Tony.
Well, he's dead, right?
Yeah, he sure is.
Okay. Look at this kid. This kid can't believe it. There are a lot of kids at ringside who really couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man.
They were really upset. Really, really upset. I had to pick up my dog. I'm sorry. He was pawing at me.
Tony, we are just moments away from the Oklahoma City win over the Indiana Pacers. Looks like they're going to go up 3-2 here tonight. I know you're fired up about that. I know you're a big NBA Finals guy.
Yeah, I'm not. So, which reminds me, I did try to get in touch with JR after his surgery. Text, called, didn't get through, and I haven't tried since. Have you talked to him or?
I have, yeah. I've got him a few times. He's on the mend, feeling better.
Good.
Making progress. And I'm hoping, knock on wood, that we'll have him tomorrow live on Grilling JR. So if you haven't already, make plans to join us at grillingjr.com. We're hoping to be back with JR this week.
That's awesome. My best to him. And look at this.
What a big moment that is. You never see an in-ring photo shoot like this.
No, you're right. They didn't allow it.
But they want it to feel like a big deal that Hulk Hogan has just been defeated, and you've got all the Japanese contingent here taking photos. Isn't it hilarious that we're going to pretend that he's Japanese? Try to create some drama. Hey, let's do some questions here. Coach Rosie's with us, unfortunately, and he says, Tony, do you think a singlet accentuates a low-key big hog? Where are you at? Like, if you're really trying to show the hog print, what are the best trunks a wrestler could wear to really accentuate the hog?
Well, I think if you got a low-key big hog, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have a singlet or regular tights or whatever. Speaking of low-key big hogs, there's Terry Taylor right there.
Did he have a big one?
He had a low-key big hog, yeah.
Wow. You know, Mark Madden told me once that Terry Taylor invented the ATM.
Really?
Yep. Ass to mouth was created by Terry Taylor, according to Mark Madden.
Does not surprise me.
I mean, he's a real innovator. I think we ought to put him in every wrestling Hall of Fame just for that. Tony, when was the first time you remember going ass to mouth?
I never remember that.
Hey, speaking of ass to mouth, Mean Gene's here, and we've got Diesel, Big Daddy Cool, and Shawn Michaels here. What do you think of this pairing? Shawn Michaels as the cocky, arrogant, dangly earring, round sunglass wearing, mullet sporting, motorcycle glove having, white leather belt, intercontinental champion with the nipples out, Shawn Michaels, with the former Vinny Vegas in the back, just not saying shit and looking cool.
Yeah, it's the first time that that someone ever used Kevin Nash the right way, I think. And it began what would be the best part of his career, because it certainly wasn't Vinny Vegas, nor was it Oz, and it was Diesel, thus Kevin Nash. So it was really cool. I liked it. Anything Shawn Michaels did, man, was great, right?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Brian Heremeza, Heremeza.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heremza. Brian Heremza. I get it there. Says, do you think it helps having colors associated with the wrestler? Examples: pink with Bret, red and yellow with Hulk. I do.
No doubt. There's no doubt. Yeah.
So when we think about modern eras, like today,
Yeah.
are there colors? I mean, obviously we know Taz and orange, but I mean, like denim, I think of Orange Cassidy now.
Right. Of course.
But what colors do you associate with wrestlers now today?
Gee whiz. That is a great question, because I would have to think about it. It's kind of like, isn't the Hurt Syndicate black and gold?
Yep.
Trunks they wear.
Yep.
And it's early with them, but I think that color is going to be synonymous with them.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I like the team. I think they're pretty freaking awesome.
Dude, they're like the modern Steiner brothers coming to the ring right now. I mean, I know they're not actually brothers, but I'm just thinking about the amateur background.
Mm-hmm.
that we knew the Steiners brought, and we know that Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley have. Yeah, I do wonder, why don't you think we've seen more Letterman jackets in wrestling? I feel like a Letterman jacket thing is because I know they tried it a little bit in AEW. Didn't they do that early with Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman and Julia Hart or
Yes,
whatever?
they did. Yeah, the varsity, the varsity
Varsity
club,
Blondes.
varsity blondes. Yeah,
But I do feel like, I don't know, like, sign me up for that. We need more of that.
yeah, I think so. But I think do you think if you wear a leather jacket, you're going to be compared to the Steiners? Oh, that's a
Well,
Steiner
well,
ripoff.
well, hang on. I guess what I was thinking is you could make it a merch opportunity. I'm not saying
Of course you
necessarily
could.
wear it for a school, but you could.
Of course you could. Right. Speaking of Samoans,
There's a few more.
there's a few more.
Uh,
There's Rikishi.
it is indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a missed opportunity. I think you should tell some of the guys and gals that you work with, hey, pick a color and base your whole shit around that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because
I think you're exactly right. And the first thing that comes to mind to me is the frat boys. I
yeah,
don't know if you've seen them work, but they should come out in some sort of color. But I don't. I just think that I think it's a mistake that we're making. I think we should look at a guy and say, "This is the color you need to wear. This should be your color. This should be your style. This should be the script of how it looks."
yeah, Batman wore the same Batman shit all the time.
Well, yes, in a way, it did.
I mean,
Ex-
there were tweaks. I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
they were seasonal, sort of like the Undertaker. The Undertaker, you knew what Kane was going to wear, and I do think that is something that is missing a little bit today.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Like the $1 Million Man, we knew what he was wearing.
Yeah, you kind of know what Takeshita is going to wear coming to the ring. He's going to have that mask on or whatever, and he's going to have that. You kind of know what Josh Alexander is wearing. Um,
Who wrestles in jeans now besides Orange Cassidy? Is that it?
that's about it.
Well,
Unless
Moxley.
I was going to say unless Moxley, but he also wears like army pants sometimes too. If I can call him that, I don't know. Look at Scott Steiner with the hair.
I love it, don't you?
Smokes. Oh wow.
Ryan says, when you work with Don Calais, what
Yeah.
is tougher, not laughing at some of the stuff he says or fighting the urge to hit him for some of the stuff he says?
Not laughing.
Yeah.
Because I've mentioned before on this program, Don and I become very good friends, and we just really get along and hit it off, and we do even talk phone calls back and forth when we're not working, and he just makes me laugh. There'll be times that there'll be a promo. Let's say it's not the best promo. Not everybody does a great promo, and not all the promos that air are good ones. I think we all can admit that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he's at the desk with me and that promo is going on, he will stare at me the entire time. And I'll look at him and I'll look away and I'll look back and he's still staring at me. And he tries to make me laugh. So, yeah, I think that's what it is. And I have so much respect for him as a heel too. My God.
Hey, did the kids tell you that I tried to encourage them to get you a Batman themed Father's Day present?
Yeah. The golf cart,
How funny was that?
that was something else. It would have
Uh,
worked. It would have worked here in the neighborhood. I think somebody does have a golf cart here in the neighborhood.
I thought you riding around
Mm-hmm.
with the dogs,
Yeah.
or Lois and the dogs,
Yes.
in a Batmobile themed golf cart would have been
Right.
hilarious.
That would have been tremendous. But the kids. Uh,
Hey, did the kids get you anything cool for Father's Day? Did you get a fun gift you want to share?
I did not. I got a card for gift card for Starbucks. I got a few phone calls. I was able to spend most of the afternoon at my favorite baseball card shop. which is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. I spent about 4 hours there, which I could spend all day there going through cards. And that's about what Father's Day was. We went out to lunch with Laurie and the grandchildren. Lois and I did. We had a great lunch. And that was about Father's Day. That was about it.
I got to tell you, one of the more fun things to do if you're looking for someone who's hard to buy is to get them a cameo, Tony. And I don't know if you saw, but recently a cameo from a wrestler went a little viral.
I did not see it. No.
It's actually a cameo from Dave Silva's very favorite wrestler of all time, the one and only Tito Santana. Let's take a listen.
Sometimes when I get bored, I buy cameos and I just write the craziest prompt that I can think of. This is one that I just sent to Tito Santana, the WWE superstar. Hey Tito, I went on a date with my high school crush. Things were going amazing until Indian food wrecked me and I legit shit myself. He was weirdly sweet about it though. But now what? Do I bring it up or pretend it didn't happen? Help!
This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana giving a shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy, you went out with the girl that you had a big time crush on. You had an amazing night until you shit on yourself. Not good news, but forget about it. It happened, but don't ever bring it up. And it never happened. I hope you're still with your crush. Arriba!
Okay, so that went viral?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about Tito's advice there?
Don't bring it up. It never happened, I guess. I don't know.
Now, you were telling me once upon a time that you once had too much to drink and shit the bed when you were, spending the night at a rat's house, and you reached behind you and cleaned yourself up and rubbed it on her to try to convince her that she had actually shit in her sleep, right?
No, that never happened. That is something that obviously happened to you or one of your friends, and you want to put it on me.
Wow.
That never happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You really don't start shitting yourself on a regular basis until after 65. So just thought I'd let you know what to look forward to in a couple of 20 years or so.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you clean your asshole out in the shower? Like just your personal method.
Well, I have
got like a stick.
Not a stick, no. What do you mean, dig up in there?
I don't know.
What do you think? You think it gets caked? Hell.
What does get caked mean?
Well, you said a stick. You got to dig it out with a stick?
Well, I guess that's what I'm wondering. Like, do you ever run your finger around the outside, or do you?
No, I've got the the lather thing, the loofah. Yeah, that cleans it out.
But do you ever try to like just get just on the inside?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Have you run out of things to talk about?
No, I was just going to share with you.
Okay. Okay.
I had a situation.
Boy, do you ever.
Yep.
And what, okay. I got to ask, what happened in this situation?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I was trying to make sure I was cleaned out pretty good back yonder.
Good.
And,
always a good.
And I put a little bit of a finger in there.
Jesus Christ.
Just to make sure that it was all the way thoroughly clean,
Yeah, right.
And when I did, I mean, I felt like a little raisinette or something. And I tried to get it.
Jesus Christ.
But it ran. And so when it starts running north, I wasn't sure what to do, you see?
Yeah.
So I really wasn't sure what would happen next. So I just kind of cut my hand back there and tried to see if I could catch the raisinette.
Yeah.
And then when I did,
Mm-hmm.
well, I felt like I was Icky Woods.
Okay.
Touchdown celebration.
It to me, it's hard to believe that a guy your size is shitting Raisinets. So don't start that with me.
Well, I'm not saying that's the whole thing. I was just
Okay.
trying to say that when it came out, I didn't know what to do with it because now I had it in my hand. So I just I Icky Woods it and did a little
the Icky dance. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, he just drops the Raisinette. Watch this. He thinks, boom.
Bam. And then I had an extra step. I would take one of my feet there and just sort of waffle stomp it down the shower drain.
Yeah.
A Raisinette.
Of course you would. Jack Tunney's over on the right. I haven't seen Jack Tunney. I'm sure he's no longer with us. I don't believe he is. Great Canadian.
Man, that's like one of your favorite things, isn't it? Just to go through a show and go dead.
No, it reminds me of my own
mortality.
Soon to happen mortality.
How about this? Jack Tunney's been dead since January of 2004.
Wow. Holy shit. 21 years.
Yeah, buddy. Actually, everybody on screen's dead. Yokozuna dead. Mr. Fuji dead. Minji Nokerlin dead.
Jack Tunney dead.
All those photographers dead.
Mm.
The Hera Arena dead. John Hamilton is with us. He says, I got an idea. Put the strap on me. You ever put the strap on anybody, Tony?
Nope.
John Hamilton wants to know, did Conrad cut your internet looking for the 6-man tag belt? Where is the 6-man tag belt?
Oh, for crying out loud. Did you have to bring this up?
I didn't bring it up.
The 6-man tag belt is in a trophy case at Petco Park in Sandy fucking Ego.
Sandy fucking Ego. Where's fucking Ego at?
I've said it so many
times. Beach? Is it sandy?
And you know what? I went to St. Louis when we were in St. Louis last time. Brian Bowringer lives there, and I got him tickets. No, I didn't get him tickets. He got tickets, and then I went up to see him, and we talked for a little bit, and I forgot to ask him, Brian, that 6-man tag belt that I gave you, I understand it's at Petco Park where he pitched for a while in San Diego. How do you think I could get it? And I forgot. But that is the key to getting that out of San Diego. And if you and John Hamilton from South Kakalaka want it so bad, go fucking get it. Leave me alone about it. Hey, look at Crush.
Just so I'm clear, when I'm out there and Sandy fucking Ego, I assume I can just walk up to the trophy case and get it. And then
Brian Bowringer sent me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Bumringer.
Bowringer.
Okay, Brian Bowfield. Got it.
Yeah, say it like that. You'll really get it.
That was a good line. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Antonio says, would Tony rather attempt to do the worm or watch Fox News with Lois?
I'd rather attempt to do the worm.
Andre wants to know, is there a particular training that wrestling commentators go through, or is it just general broadcasting training?
Yeah, it's just general broadcasting training, I guess. I think it's obviously more competitive than it used to be back when I first started, but there's no training for it. With the exception of you've got to respect the business and love the business, and you've got to realize what your job is. And your job is not to get yourself over. Your job is to get the guys and girls over. That's your job. And that needs to be the first thing you do. So when I got into it, I was just a gigantic wrestling fan. And I'd kind of fallen off a couple of years before I got back into it. But when I was in college and high school, oh my God. I was a big wrestling fan. So when I had a chance to get into it, and once again, it's just being in the right place at the right time. It really was. When I had a chance to get into it, I was so thrilled and so honored that I was doing it that I made sure I did exactly what the promoter wanted me to do. And I had good teachers. I really did. Jim Crockett, David Crockett, Bill Watts, Vince McMahon. very good teachers about how to be a wrestling announcer. So I was very lucky in many ways.
Watching a good match here with Crush and Shawn Michaels. This is very early into Shawn's singles career. Obviously, he's already the Intercontinental Champion, but we know the sky is going to be the limit for him. These guys are going to have a pretty fun match. I guess we should mention the Steiners and the Smoking Guns did pick up a win.
Mhm.
Scott Steiner was only in briefly. Rick never even tagged in. It's a one-star affair.
Yeah.
This match is not highly reviewed here. It's a star and a half. But the promo or the match right before this, I'll get it. The promo right before this match
Mhm.
is where they reveal that the big man's name is Diesel.
Okay.
So this is the show where we would officially name Diesel. What do you think of that as a wrestling name, Diesel?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple. It says a lot, right? Diesel truck, big, strong.
Yes.
Do you see the bump that that Shawn Michaels took?
I did.
Yeah. It's almost like one of those Hulk Hogan bumps that he took. Remember that one? Those matches?
Hey, you know what's wild about this?
What?
This King of the Ring show, as we're watching it, of course, this is 1993, but the specific date on this one is June 13th, 1993. I'm making sure that I'm emphasizing that because on June 3rd, 10 days prior to this,
Yeah.
Van Hammer was beating Vinny Vegas in Louisville at a WCW house show.
Wow.
And 10 days later, he's at the King of the Ring with Shawn Michaels. What an upgrade to go from jobbing to Van Hammer to standing in the corner for Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental Champion at King of the Ring.
Yeah. I would think standing on the corner begging for quarters would be an upgrade for doing the job to Van Hammer.
That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I support this message.
You know, we rip on Van Hammer a lot on this podcast,
We do.
and we probably shouldn't do that.
Why is that?
He might be a real good guy.
Oh, really?
He might be. I don't know.
I'm sure he is.
So, Van, we are sorry we ripped on you on this podcast, but you really did.
No. Tony, sorry. I'm not sorry.
Okay.
You stood me up and no show to Starcast.
Oh,
So,
then the hell with him.
yeah, fuck off. Do whatever you're doing.
Yeah. I was getting ready to
I
say,
do it somewhere else, but I don't give a fuck about you.
yeah, I was getting ready to say you really were a very, very bad wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know he's that good of a person.
Don't know that much about him.
Yeah. Like to know a little less.
Apparently so.
Yeah. A lot less. Be good.
How about the colors that Crush is wearing?
Yeah, man. What do you think about it?
Well, they are unique.
I mean, it does feel like it's from 1988, not necessarily 1993.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of like
The hair, man, for both Shawn and specifically for Crush too, just real bad.
right.
I mean, Crush looks like he's Billy Ray Cyrus here. He just broke Shawn's achy breaky heart with that fucking backbreaker.
Oh, did he ever? Oh man.
We've got Antonio Santos here with us, and he says, "Did Nash base his Vinny Vegas persona loosely on Andrew Dice Clay?" I thought it was Steve Martin in my what was that? My Blue Heaven?
My Blue Heaven?
Yeah.
Which by the way is one of my favorite movies of all time.
You know something I watched this weekend that I think is criminally underrated? The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, wasn't that another 80s movie by
John Hughes.
John Hughes or
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus or that group? Yeah, that is. I love all 80s movies.
Me too.
Even the bad ones are good. What were we talking about before then?
Vinny Vegas.
Vinny Vegas. It could have been. Yeah, it could have been based on Vinny. Because the guy's name was Vinny in the in the movie.
Well, he was wondering, is it Andrew Dice Clay?
Yeah. But I was thinking maybe it is Steve Martin in My Blue Heaven. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that movie, just a little inside baseball. We at AEW, me and Justin Roberts and Ian Riccaboni, and even now Excalibur, just quote that movie all the time backstage.
What movie?
My Blue Heaven.
Oh, wow.
Like, Tony, how you doing today? And I'll go, I work here. I work here. What a day. What a day. We do that all the time.
I love it.
The shoes are tragic. Use that all the time when I see Don Callis. Yeah, Darren Staley, it's a vegetable. Yeah. Have a nice day. Fuck you. Which is my favorite line. God, Spaceballs 2 is coming out. And
what'd you think of that trailer, dude?
Wasn't it great?
All-timer.
And then Rick Moranis, of course, we understand is coming back, and he has been out because his wife was sick and died, and he had to take care of the kids. And Rick Moranis was in My Blue Heaven as Barney. Capiche? Are you trying to say capiche? Yeah. Well, don't do it because it hurts my ears when you do it.
I love that.
Love all those. Oh, God.
Hey, I wanted to, we're talking about classic 80s movies.
Yeah.
What a run Hughes was on. Let me just run through some of his stuff here.
Yep.
In 83, he did Mr. Mom
Mm-hmm.
and National Lampoon's Vacation.
Wow.
In 84, he did 16 Candles.
Yep. Great movie.
In 85, he did The Breakfast Club.
Oh, wow.
National Lampoon's European Vacation and Weird Science.
Yep.
In 86, he did Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Loved Pretty in Pink. It was a bad movie, but I loved it.
In 87, he did Some Kind of Wonderful and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, I watch it every Thanksgiving.
In 88, he did She's Having a Baby and The Great Outdoors.
Right.
In 89, Uncle Buck and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Classics.
In 90, Home Alone. In 91, Career Opportunities, Only the Lonely, Dutch, and Curly Sue.
Only the Lonely was great with John Candy.
92 is Beethoven and Home Alone 2. 93 is Dennis the Menace. 94 is Baby's Day Out and Miracle on 34th Street. 96 is 101 Dalmatians. 97 is Flubber and Home Alone 3. And he's got a handful more that finish it off, but just all time, what a fucking run, dude.
Oh man, what a movie producer and director he was. And then he passed away when?
2009, just 59 years old.
Jeez.
Just what a fucking run, though, dude.
Yeah, think about the great movies. I mean, to me, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is
the number one.
A must-see during Christmas.
Well, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is really the rare Thanksgiving movie.
Right, I watch it every Thanksgiving morning.
But to think that, hey, this same guy did National Lampoon's Vacation and European Vacation and Weird Science and Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller and Great Outdoors and Uncle Buck and Home a fucking Alone.
Right.
I mean, Home Alone was a juggernaut, dude. So much money to be made there.
Wow. Yeah.
By the way, we are live. We greatly appreciate you guys joining us. You can be a part of our live studio audience each and every Monday night. We're live at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And you can be a part of the fun just by joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/WHW Monday, or of course, adfreeshows.com. Lots of people saying that they're pretty fired up for Spaceballs 2. I am too. I really wish we could have had, and maybe with AI, maybe we'll get some permission. I would love some sort of a John Candy cameo. Because I think, man, what a genius, we had, like some sort of homage to John Candy's character. Because What a silly character he played in Spaceballs.
Absolutely, he did.
What do you think of Doink coming to the ring here?
Some goofy fucking shit.
Well, we say that, but an evil clown is kind of a cool gimmick.
It's fucking creepy.
Yes.
Like scary clowns are. My daughter Laurie, who you know very well,
Yeah.
petrified of clowns.
I believe it, dude.
Yeah, petrified of clowns.
She won't even see Dave Silva.
Yeah. So that's Doink and Dink.
Those are two Doinks.
A double Doink.
Yeah, double Doink.
Yeah. When did Brian Adams die? He passed away when? He just got pinned right there. Thanks to the double Doink.
He died in 2007 at just 43 years old.
Yeah. Well, there he got double doinked.
Nobody likes to get double doinked.
No, that's a bad place. Bad place to go. Hey, European vacation, right?
All timer.
Look, kids, Big Bend Parliament. When we're on the road and we get lost or someone takes a wrong turn, look, kids, Big Bend Parliament. That's one of the great lines.
Jason Taylor wants to know, did you like the movie The Wraith? Did you ever see that one?
No.
It's about this futuristic car.
I did not. Is it like an 80s movie or?
It is. It's from 1986. It's a science fiction movie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Sheen is the main character.
Oh, okay.
I saw it 10 years ago.
Wow.
Enjoy it.
Well, there's Bam Bam Bigelow, and of course, those are just.
Let me look up when he died. You've asked me about everybody else.
When he died.
Bam Bam Bigelow died. He died on January 19th, 2007 at just 45 years old. Oh, there's Mean Gene. Let me tell you when he died.
Yeah, he died not that long ago. He was in his 80s.
January 76.
All right,
January 2019. Man, a lot of January deaths.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let me see who else coming up because I know you're going to want to know what their date of death is. Let's see. It's just Bret Hart. He's still with us.
We still got to have a seance. We got to have a seance at Starrcade.
Okay, I'm going to book you to hold it.
I'll do it.
Shit, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Okay, great. I'm going to do it. We got a weekly AEW call Tuesdays at 11 Eastern.
Yeah.
So I'll have a call tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll run it past and say, hey.
Okay. Here's
Tony Schiavone had this great idea. He wants to do a seance.
A wrestler seance. I told Cochet, I said, whatever you guys want me to do at Starrcade, I'll do. How's that sound?
Wow. Well, come on down, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have your very first chance to do the most unique Tony Schiavone photo op of all time. I know what you're thinking. Conrad, does that mean we get to sit at the AEW announce desk? No, that would be lame. We're going to do something way cooler than that. For the first time ever, you get an up close and personal meet and greet with Tony's button on a fur coat. Tickets go on sale this Friday. If you want to see Tony's hog in all its glory, we got magnifying glasses available for rent. Starrcast.com is your hookup. That's STARRCAST.com. Be sure to place your order and use the hashtag we want the hog. And that lets us know that you want the special meet and greet.
I want to see it too, so I'm with you guys. I've missed it since '87, so I'd like to see it.
Man, how cool is this? They're going to get plenty of time here. Bam Bam Bigelow, and what a story. Bret the Hitman Hart, as a reminder, started the night in the ring with Razor Ramon. They went 10 minutes and 27 seconds.
Wow.
And then he wrestled Mr. Perfect for 18 minutes and 55 seconds. So we're over 30 minutes in the ring here with Mr. Perfect, Razor Ramon, and now Bam Bam Bigelow. I know it's all about Hulk Hogan in this era. I mean, he's the world champion, but that was in the middle of the card. This is the main event, and what a one-man story this is for Bret Hart to try to establish him as the replacement top babyface in the shadows of Hulkamania, no?
It seems to me that the fans are not buying this one. And I think See there? No reaction to that false finish right there. And I
But
think
is it because it's the third time we've seen him?
I think that combined with the fact that Hulk Hogan lost.
You maybe took everybody out of it.
Yeah, I think so. I know it took some of those kids out of it. There's that one kid had a Hulk Hogan do-rag down front, and when Hogan lost, you could see it on his face.
Hey, not to be funny, but I do want to ask because it made national news. It was all over social media. I'm sure you've heard about it.
I did not.
There was a tragic deal that happened at Spaghetti Junction on the bridge there in Atlanta. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
My man jumped off, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
It happened today?
Father's Day. The idea that you got a dude doing that on Father's Day is like, whew.
Man, I very rarely go to that side of town, and that's terrible. That is horrible. Wow. And Spaghetti Junction, if you haven't been on it, one of the bypasses, one of the lanes is like way up high. So, and that's something here. I live in this town, and I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, you're not on social media and you don't watch the news.
Right.
So I guess unless they send like a goddamn courier pigeon, or in your case, a courier rescue dog, you probably won't find out about it.
Yeah, I usually get my news from you.
Love you for that.
I do.
Unless some dog shows up, "Roo, roo, roo, roo," and you're like, "What's that, Lassie? A man jumped off a bridge." Roo, 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 roo. Kenny Omega's in the main event against Okada. Roo, 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 roo. They're unifying the belt. Roo, 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 roo.
God Almighty. Jason Taylor asked me, "Do you watch the news?" And the answer is no, I do not. I can't stand the news. It's just so full of politics and bullshit that it turns me off. I don't want it to fucking ruin my day. So at this age, I'm trying to stay out of it.
Hey, speaking of stay out of it, I don't know if you saw, Tony, but earlier tonight it was made official. What
Huh?
I suspected and freestyled a month ago here on the program with you is now a reality. On the evening of Saturday, July the 12th, live from Atlanta, Georgia, the headline event of Saturday night's main event is Gunther defending the world heavyweight title against Goldberg.
Wow.
Can you imagine? I mean, who would have thought? Don't get me wrong. Everybody listening to this program knows how much we love WCW and clearly what a big part Goldberg was of WCW's success, certainly at their biggest year ever, 1998. But I saw someone online point this out. I'll give him credit if I can see who it was. But man, what an eye opener it was. He said, Goldberg's still eating based on 1998 is a little bit like if superstar Billy Graham showed up for a title shot in the year 2000. And timeline wise, he's correct.
Wow.
That's so wild to me to think about, because 98, to 2025, we're talking 27 years later. So when you take 27 all the way back down to, the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow is right.
It's hard for me to imagine superstar Billy Graham running around in the year 2000.
Yeah. Me too. Like Jason Taylor just said, steroids destroyed the body. And boy, they beat him up. Well, what a star he was, man. God. Superstar Billy Graham. They brought him into the Crockett territory after Flair had his plane. Well, Flair was in the plane crash. And I remember when he first arrived, I'm thinking, God, what a great bad guy he was. And then I got a chance to work with him a little bit when I first started in 83, because he was with the Crockett's at that time. And that was pretty fucking cool. And he would come into Everybody was kung fu fighting. Yeah. Whoa.
I love when you make noises like that.
Thank you.
Hey, we're live here, and we've got some fun questions. Let's get to a few.
Okay.
This is from Antonio Santos. He says, would Tony rather take a bear hug, the penis slam, or a stink face?
Okay, I'd rather take a bear hug. Well, I'd probably rather take a penis slam because it wouldn't hurt me because I just don't have a penis. So that would be it. I ain't got one, man.
What does
It's sunk back up in there. Okay. It's disappeared. You know what? And I don't need it. Some of you guys need it. I don't. I only need it at night when I get up like 3 times a night and take a pee. That's the only time I need it. Next question.
Aaron Sheen wants to know best movie you've seen this year.
I haven't seen any of the movies this year.
You haven't seen a movie this year?
No, I've not.
I'm not saying you went to a theater. I'm saying you've not sat on your couch and watched a movie.
I've not. Not at all. I've sat on my couch and watched episodes of television shows, you know. But no, not a movie, not one movie.
Can I recommend Sinners?
Sinners?
Yep. You and Lois would love it.
Sinners?
Yes.
Not Centers.
Sinners.
Okay. All right.
Darren Staley's with us, and he's got a real big question that we got.
I bet he does.
He wants to know, can Tony trim his pubes without chopping his dong off?
Next question.
Coach Keith Morrison has a real question here. He wants to know, what's bigger, a toothpick or Tony's hog?
Next question.
No. Well, all right. Length. Is a toothpick longer?
Oh, by far.
Is a toothpick thicker?
It's close. Let's get back to the main event match for King of the Ring.
All right. The referee is dead. Let me look up his death date. I know you
No. I don't know the death.
Oh, wait. The manager is dead. Let me get to the bottom of that. All right. So he died 4th of July, 1994. Got a big death anniversary.
Oh, look at this. I talked about Butcher Vachon, and there is Luna.
Yeah, I'm looking up her date of death right now for you.
Stop
That
it.
was August 27th, 2010. She's 48 years old.
Stop it.
Bret's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, but his mom's dead. Let me look up when she died.
Oh my God.
That's mother.
You're terrible. You're a horrible person.
What? All right.
Yeah.
Helen Hart died on November 4th.
Stop.
2001. Oh, but she was married to Stu Hart. Let me see what that guy's fucking finish was. Let me see. He died.
What that guy's finish was. What was your finisher? Man, let's see. I don't know.
October 16th, 2003. 88 years old, dude.
Wow. How about that for a wrestler, a guy who wrestled, taking bumps to live to 88? Is that not that's something else? That really is.
What's the last Google image Stu Hart? Just type in Stu Hart wrestling and click images.
Okay.
Some of the black and white shots of that dude. He was a handsome fucker, man.
Yeah, of course he was.
I didn't see it in Stu because I only ever saw old man Stu and I see the young man Stu and I was like, whoa, hey, I see why you got all them kids now.
Yep.
Bad Money Slim is with us here live, and he wants to play your favorite show. He knows how much you love it. It's FMK.
I ain't playing it.
Hang on.
I ain't playing it.
Downtown Bruno, Mr. Fuji, or Jimmy Hart?
I ain't playing it.
Well, the answer is you want to live with Jimmy Hart. He's going to be frugal. He's going to be nice. He's going to live forever.
Okay.
Are
we restarting the match?
Well, I mean, I guess
we is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Continue is what happened. Oh, we'll continue. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go.
We're back at it. Hey, where do you rank Bam Bam all time on your big man list?
Well, he's one of the best ones because of how he could move.
I'd really like to kind of hear from you if I could. Maybe give me your Mount Rushmore of big men.
Oh, Mount Rushmore big men. Well, Andre's on there.
Okay, I don't mean giants.
Okay, well, he's big.
I'm talking about fat guys. I mean Bam Bams and Yokos and Vaders and
Okay.
Dandy.
Vader, Bam Bam are on there.
Yep, agree.
Let's see who else. John Tenta could do a lot of stuff.
Hell yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Then let me think of another fat man. Klondike Bill.
Wow.
No, that's not true because I don't think I ever saw Klondike wrestle. So Tenta.
Would you put Mark Henry on the list? Big boss man on the
Yeah,
list?
right. Probably big boss man.
Keith Lee.
That's another one.
Umaga.
Yeah.
Hey, what's Keith Lee doing?
He had some knee surgery, I guess, and
He's still with AEW though, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I just hadn't seen or heard him in a while.
There's a lot of people we haven't seen or heard from in a while. Really, if you sit back and think about our roster, there's a lot of people that we haven't seen and heard from in AEW for a while. A number of them are injured. Some of them are just not getting booked, and I don't know. Bad Money Slim said that the WCW rapper. Remember him?
Oh yeah, PN News.
PN News. That's another good one. Yeah.
How about my man Bad Money Slim called Roadblock Road Sign? I love that. If we just started slightly altering people's names.
Yeah, Bad Money Slim said Big Cass, but there's nothing fat about Big Cass.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you were dating Bret Hart's daughter? Man, that cooter was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I hit her with my sharpshooter. I made her take the turnbuckle chest first. What?
I did a pile driver head first.
Just trying to make people laugh.
Oh God.
Listen, if you were Shawn Michaels, I hit that bitch with some Sweet Chin music. Oh man, when I was done with her, she had lost her smile for sure. Oh God.
Oh God, she's got a big snapdragon.
Oh my God. What about the Steiner brothers? Hit her with the Steiner recliner.
Yeah.
Gave her the old Frankensteiner. You don't want to ask me what happened with the Sharpies.
Oh God.
The head shrinkers. I don't know if you can do anything there. Oh my God. Hulk Hogan, what would you do? We actually know her, so this one's awful, I guess.
Hey, Bam Bam's putting in some time here.
Dude, I love it too.
He really is.
One of my all-time favorites. Tony, if you're curious, the Oklahoma City Thunder have won.
Mm-hmm.
They're up 3-2. As folks are listening to this, Game 6 will be tomorrow night, Thursday night. But tonight, Jalen Williams hung 40 on them hoes, Tony.
Wow. Well, they had the best record during the regular season, didn't they? I mean, they had like a phenomenal record, like 55 wins.
They had
or
a
something.
really, really strong season.
Yes. How about that? And people in Seattle are still pissed. I love this. I love this, man.
I mean, this feels real, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It feels gouging the eyes and just hanging on, and Bam Bam walking around in circles, and Bret's still holding on, and watch Bam Bam start to melt. If this is a finish, it's a pretty damn good one. Just put the big monster to sleep.
This is not the finish.
It's not the finish. Okay. All right. Bam Bam got his hand over his mouth trying to call spots here. I bet you, and of course we can't hear it. And I know that Savage was on the broadcast, but I bet you JR and Heenan work well together.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. As much as I love JR, and I think he's the greatest commentator of all time, I really did I mean, earlier this year, I think it was Rumble 93. That's like Bobby and Gorilla's last show together.
Right.
And I'm always going to be nostalgic for that pairing.
Yeah, it's like JR and the King.
That's
Right?
right.
Yeah, I get that.
By the way, while we're waiting to finish this match, I want to mention, hey, I sure would love to help you get into a house this summer. Go right now to savewithconrad.com. I want to show you how easy it is to do that. And right now is actually a great time to buy. You may have heard, during the pandemic that it was a seller's market. Things were going on the market and they'd have multiple offers and they'd be above ask and all that. Well, right now you can actually get some really good deals. You're seeing some homes on the market longer than normal. You're seeing lots of price reductions. Lots of sellers are willing to help with closing costs. I'm saying all that to say the experts seem to agree that interest rates are going to improve this year. And when that happens, man, everybody and their brother is going to be looking to make a move. I want to encourage you to, date the rate and marry the house because we've actually got a guarantee going right now. It's called the year 3 guarantee. And the gist is we're going to go ahead and get you the best deal we can get you right now. But if rates improve at any point over the next 3 years, you're going to get basically a free refi. We're going to do it again for you with no new lender fees. So you get the opportunity to get the best deal for your family right now, but also save money later. And I don't think I have to tell you, if you would have bought a house in 2019, think about how much money you would have made in the years 2020, 2021, and 2022 when real estate was just sky high. Well, now's your chance to do that. Someone we just helped do that is my man Jacob. He's a broadband technician from Bulls Gap, Tennessee. He came to savewithconrad.com. We worked with him every step of the way, and now he's the proud owner of his very first home of his own. We'd love to help you like we helped Jacob. Go right now to savewithconrad.com and let a member of my team run the numbers for you and get you pre-approved. There's no cost, there's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we're not going to waste your time. We're going to get you a plan because at savewithconrad.com, we don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. Let's get started, man. Let's make this the year that we buy a house. And by the way, I talked to somebody recently who said, well, I didn't call for so long because I was kind of ashamed. I had some credit hiccups. Man, it's just stuff. Everybody's got stuff. I've seen over 100,000 credit reports. Don't feel ashamed. You've got a friend in the mortgage business. That's me. I want to hook you up. Go right now to savewithconrad.com, NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, savewithconrad.com. And here it is, man, the coronation. Bret the Hitman Hart with a victory roll has bested Bam Bam Bigelow, going through not one, not two, but 3 opponents. Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, and Bam Bam. What a night for Bret Hart here, Tony.
And the fans really popped on the finish too, on the roll up. Really got a good fan response out of that. So yeah, so it looks like in many ways we're a coordination for the brand new star of the WWF, right?
And you're gonna love where this is coming right now. Antonio wants to know, Conrad, are you running in New York now? Yes, I am. We can hook you up in New York right now at savewithconrad.com. So there you see the robe, the scepter, the crown.
Right.
He's getting ready to take his rightful spot on the throne, but stay tuned. We're not done just yet. We've got another piece of business here. Hey, that coat rack back behind Mean Gene there, that brass coat rack.
Yep.
I feel like everybody had one of those at one point, either in their house or in an office of someone they knew. Did you ever have a brass coat rack like that?
There was one in the Crockett's office. I remember.
Look who it is. Jerry the King Lawler here on WWF programming.
Wow.
Wasn't this a big deal when it first happened?
You say it wasn't this big of a deal?
I think it was, don't you?
Oh yeah, it is a big deal.
I'm saying this is a longtime territory guy.
Right.
Now being shown here in the WWF. Of course, he debuted in December of 92. But since they're going to do the King of the Ring, of course, it's natural that it leads right to a program between the existing king here in the World Wrestling Federation.
Of course.
So you got a heel king and a babyface king. Kind of ironic since this past weekend we had no king parades, Tony.
Yeah, how about that? And everybody went back home and life went on as usual.
Yeah, how about who gives a shit? The only king that I care about are these two.
That's exactly
That's
right.
Bret the Hitman Hart and Jerry the King Lawler.
Mhm.
Sign me up for this. This is way more interesting than whatever's happening on cable news.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. This is escapism from the bullshit that is the world.
By the way, speaking of the bullshit that is the world, we're going to be talking about the bullshit known as Great American Bash 1995 next week here on the program. It went down on June 18th. And believe it or not, it was at the Hera Arena,
Wow.
which is the same arena that this show is in.
I wonder if a very young Chris Hero
Chris
was
Hero
there.
was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to see Flair and Savage next week. We're going to see Sting and Ming. We're going to see the Nasty Boys and the Blue Bloods. We'll see the Renegade and Arn Anderson, personal favorite of yours.
Mm-hmm.
See Harlem Heat take on Dick Slater and Bunkhouse Buck. We got Jim Duggan and Sergeant Craig Pittman. We got Dave Sullivan and Diamond Dallas Page. We got Alex Wright and Brian Pillman. That's all next week here on the program. The Great American Bash 1995.
Wow.
What a hot finish here with Jerry Lawler just destroying Bret Hart to go off the air here.
By the way, and fans are like, some are chanting. By the way, as this drops on Wednesday, it is DJ Turnup's birthday. We want to say,
Oh, come on now. I love that.
DJ Turnup. He turns, let's see, 93, 92. He turns 56 today. I think my math may be wrong, DJ. I'm not sure.
Well, here's what I know for sure. There's going to be a lot of mathing going on tonight when you're trying to count how many wrestlers are flying out of the ring at the same time. It's AEW in Arena, Mexico tonight on Dynamite. I can't wait. I don't know what I'm more excited about, to see this show, to see All In, or to see AEW in the old ECW Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's going to be a damn lot of fun this summer. Go grab your tickets now at AEWTIX.com. But unfortunately, Tony, as for you and I, it looks like it's about that time.
Absolutely. And fans, we want to tell you that we appreciate you being with us each and every time here on What Happened When. We do have a Patreon channel, don't we, Conrad?
Absolutely. It's patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
Damn, that was a terrible fart.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.